What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin. I'm a wife, a mom, a military veteran, a certified personal trainer, and I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing, healed my way out, and now I'm using all of my social media platforms to educate and raise awareness around the dangers of multi-level marketing companies and the tactics used by their reps. You want to follow me on social media? I think that would be awesome. Here's how you can do that. And we're going to get into MLM Fails number 13. I know. I'm very excited about it. I can't believe it's been about a year since I've done an MLM Fails, and shout out to you guys for sending some of this information, these videos, posts, those types of things my way. I really appreciate it. I, collect them a little bit, I guess. That's how I want to say that. And perfect opportunity to do an MLM fail because I've been hanging on to some of these for a little bit and I want to talk about it. So I hope you guys enjoy. And without further ado, let's talk about some MLM fails. I do have 6 either screenshots or videos that we're going to go through. Okay, we're going to start with Optavia. Everybody, this is Summer. Summer is married to Mike. Mike and Summer are in Optavia, and Mike is battling prostate cancer. And let me just start by saying, do not listen to these people when it comes to medical advice. Please listen to your doctors. Please work with qualified medical professionals when it comes to anything to do with your health, because it's been alleged to me that these people are not listening to their oncologists. I'll just say it that way. And we have seen what happens. And I hope that that's not happening here, but I wanted to say that before I even played this video, because she does mention her husband, Mike. She does mention cancer. And as always, it's going to come back to Optavia. So please just prepare yourself. Consider this a content warning. Okay.
I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone in the fact that I don't always feel like going to the gym and working out. I know I'm not all alone when I don't always feel like making a better decision. I know I'm not alone when I don't always feel like getting up early in the morning and getting in my time alone, my meditation time, my prayer time. I know I'm not alone because I hear about it all day, every day from so many people who are like, I get up with my kids yelling at me and I don't set my alarm, or I set my alarm and I press snooze, or I really wanted to go to the gym, but I didn't go, or I knew I should go to the gym, but I didn't want to. So many of us have many things that hold us back from doing the things that we know could actually move us forward. So here's a couple tips.
Guys, get ready to write this down because she's going to come with some banging tips. That's sarcasm, by the way.
For you to implement so that you no longer allow your feelings to rule you. Tip number 1, I would encourage you to hold yourself accountable. A lot of times we won't do something for ourselves, but we will do it for others. That's one of the main reasons why I became a coach.
That right there. Now, I think accountability is really important for a lot of people until you develop these habits. If we're talking about working out, whatever that looks like, I think that having a buddy or having somebody that you are being held accountable to, I think can be very, very important for a lot of people. However, if you listen to these tips that Summer is going to give us here, they're all going to go back to Optavia. One of the ways that they try to flip customers to become distributors, and they call them coaches. You already know how I feel about that. But anyways, they try to flip their customers, especially if they have had a dramatic weight loss result, which is terrifying, losing weight that quickly under the quote unquote care of a multi-level marketer that paid to join, and they were doing courses or something like that. Anyways, that's terrifying to me. That's terrifying. Anyways, the way that they try to flip their customers is if they have had some sort of weight loss, and then they're like, listen, a lot of people become coaches to be held accountable. You don't need to join a multi-level marketing company, especially one like Optavia, which is complete garbage in my opinion, in order to be held accountable. There are plenty of ways that you can do that. You can ask your partner, you can ask a friend, you can ask a coworker, hey, just, I'm going to be going to the gym and, do you want to go with me? There's just so many ways that you can do that. That doesn't require you to join a multi-level marketing company that, in my opinion, creates disordered eating and or full-on eating disorders within people. It creates a distrust within people, and they develop a fear of specific types of food. And then what happens when these people cycle on and off this Optavia plan, the 5-in-1, which it has been alleged to me that there are so many people that cycle on and off of that 5-in-1 plan. It's a constant, you lose some weight because you're drastically and dangerously, in my opinion, decreasing the amount of calories you are consuming on a daily basis. And then when you get off of plan, you are increasing calories and you're going to put on some weight because you are increasing your calorie intake until your metabolism stabilizes. But then because you've gained weight, this is what's been alleged to me, you're encouraged to get back into what they call fat loss or fat burn. So you're encouraged to get back on the 5-in-1. And it's this constant vicious cycle that people like Summer, in my opinion, use to manipulate their downline to order the products to stay on the 5-in-1 plan. And it's manipulative, it is disgusting, and these people should be ashamed of themselves. But again, just my opinion. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments.
Was because I knew if I was walking with people on this journey of health, that it would help me stay focused on my goals as well. So make yourself accountable. If you don't have a coach in your corner, if you don't have a friend group that can hold you accountable to your goals, I'm going to encourage you to do just that. People can't force you to do things, but they can say, hey, you said you're going to do this. How's it going? Or, hey, meet me up at the gym. Man, when I'm meeting someone at the gym, it makes me show up that much more, excited to be there. Okay, number 1 was accountability. Number 2, habit stack. It's so easy. What I mean by that is, I used to be a horrible water drinker. Now, I literally wake up and my water cup is full right there, ready to go. Kind of like my morning routine. I don't have to figure it all out. My Bible's right there. My book is right there. Everything is right there, ready to go. And I made a commitment to myself to not press snooze on the alarm. So the night before I go to bed, I set the time that I'm waking up, and that's the time I'm gonna wake up. So I would encourage you to habit stack some of these good things. For instance, when I would brush my teeth, I would do squats when I couldn't go to the gym.
I was vibing with the whole habit tracking. Or habit stacking, excuse me. I was for that. I am a huge fan of habit stacking, whether it's drinking water or planning for your next day. One of my biggest habits that I think has helped me with making sure that I'm eating what I should and getting in the amount of protein and the right amount of carbs and all of that stuff, that I'm taking in the right macros, the right nutrients, if you will, every day, is on Saturdays or Sundays, I plan the meal for the week. I've talked about Krista Poole, aka StayFitMom_ Krista, I believe, on Instagram, and her cookbooks. I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. I don't even think she has anything like that. I'm just a fan of her cookbooks and I'm a fan of her recipes. Why? Her meal plan cookbook we're a family of 4, and these are 5, the recipes are 5 servings. So when I'm making my food, my dinner for the family, I have lunch the next day. So I'm knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. Why am I bringing this up? Usually on the weekends, I plan my meals for the week and I plan the grocery list and pick up the groceries. And then I know what I'm going to be eating, not just for dinner for the family, but also for lunch the next day. And it's what's worked for me, which is an important habit stack that I do, not just for our family, but also for me and my goals. So I was really tracking with the habit stacking until she suggested that people do squats while they are brushing their teeth. First of all, no, you don't need to do that. If you are somebody that is worried about or wanting to burn calories, there are other ways that you can burn some extra calories in your day. For instance, you could focus on your steps if you're somebody that is able to get steps in. There are so many different options, and listening and watching people that are in Optavia give advice like this, like, hey, while you're brushing your teeth, do squats. Or how about you not combine those things? How about you focus on brushing your teeth? And how about you do squats separately? Who does squats while they're brushing their teeth? Maybe there are people out there, but I just feel like that is really interesting because squats can be kind of a complicated movement for a lot of people. But you're going to encourage people to be doing squats while they're brushing their teeth with something in their mouth. Summer, stop it.
So at least I got some active in. So at least I got my body active. So I'm going to encourage you to stack some habits with your day so that at least you are moving forward and not backward or not moving at all. Okay, third. So number 1, accountability. Number 2, stack some of those habits. And number 3, when it comes to wanting to move forward and doing things that you don't always feel like doing, is set a goal. Know why you're doing this. Really lean into it. If in the end of the year, how do you want to show up for yourself? So what is summer like at the end of this year? Am I still trying to go for the same goals I've been trying to go for year after year after year? Or am I actually attaining them? Am I at the end of this year celebrating the goals that I have achieved, or trying to repeat the year over year over year? So I'm going to encourage you, know why you're doing this. Why do you want to get...
I'm going to encourage you not to listen to Summer because everything goes back to Optavia. Everything. Here's the thing. If you have goals around your fitness, your health, that's important. It's awesome. But the example that she is giving, if you are, failing over and over again, and she didn't say it that way, obviously, but that's essentially, in my opinion, what she's saying, and you're not reaching your goals, maybe it's time to do something different. Maybe you should work with a coach. Maybe you should, work with a coach, but not an Optavia coach. I like the thumbs up. Anyways, everything always ties back to Optavia. She's trying to provide value. Here's 3 tips: accountability and habit stacking, and also 3, make sure that you have a why that makes you cry is essentially what she's saying. Sometimes people just want to move their bodies in the best way that they're able to because it's good for their mental health. It doesn't necessarily have to be a goal to get shredded in the gym or whatever. Sometimes people are moving to manage chronic pain. Sometimes people are doing the best that they can, and their goal is just maybe to get steps in a day, or, standing up a certain amount throughout the day. It's just, I know that I'm a little bit biased when it comes to Optavia because y'all know I cannot stand that company and what these people are doing. But, it always is going to come back to Optavia or whatever MLM. So if you see people that are doing things like this, like, hey, here's 5 tips on how you can do this and this and this. They're doing that because they're trying to provide value, and they're using that as a funnel to try and get you into their multi-level marketing company. So just research the people that are making the content that you're consuming. That would be just a suggestion.
Healthy, and have that why drive you. And you know what? Some of you, your why might be a pain point. I know for Mike lately, some of the reasons why he does what he does is because he wants to beat cancer.
Content warning, this is where she mentions cancer. Please do not listen to these people. They've done several lives and things of that nature, posts talking about cancer. Although I do wish that Mike beats cancer, and I hope that he beats cancer. It doesn't appear that he's doing traditional treatments, science, evidence-based treatment, and that's scary to me. So don't listen to these people when it comes to medical advice. Work with your doctors, work with your medical team.
He doesn't want it beating him. So he is showing up every day as a healthy version of himself because he has a pain point that is his why. Maybe you have a pain point that might need to be your why.
And how exactly is showing up as a healthy version of himself going to get rid of the cancer in his body? Come on.
Those are my top 3 tips. I'm going to encourage you to reach out if you need some encouragement, or if you need accountability, or if you're like, shoot, Summer, I have tried, by myself to reach these goals and it's not working out for me, man, I can relate. That's how I was for years before I jumped into this program. So today I'm going to encourage you, don't do this alone.
It's not just tips to help you achieve your goals. It's, hey, you should come with me and join Optavia. You should buy this overpriced processed garbage, even though Summer and a lot of other people in Optavia try to villainize processed foods. They are taking in processed foods in their fuelings. Just eat real food. You don't need this packaged, processed garbage, in my opinion, from Optavia. You definitely, in my opinion, should not be working with these coaches that are not qualified to be helping people with anything. I mean, this person is giving you advice to do squats while you're brushing your teeth.
You're not meant to do it alone. We truly are better together. So reach out. Let's do this. Let's link arms together and let's reach goals that maybe you thought you'd never reach.
Absolutely not. No. Work with professionals. Okay, that was Optavia. That was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. And now we're going to move into, I feel like Optavia to Beachbody kind of makes sense. So let's see. I can't remember what her name is. You guys will probably recognize her, but let's talk about what she's doing here and the tactics that she's using to try and get people to take a look at Beachbody.
I hope everyone watches it. It is true. Miranda is in a cult and so sad. She's so
Okay, first of all, I should have prepared you guys. I apologize. There is a documentary on Netflix called Dance for the Devil, I believe is what it's called. I do highly suggest watching it because the crossover between cults and commercial cults, aka MLM, multi-level marketing companies, is really interesting. And there's a lot of language and tactics that many of you who have been a part of the anti-MLM movement for a while will recognize. And so that's what Kat here is talking about. She is talking about that documentary. She is talking about Miranda, who is somebody that is still in the 4M cult that is mentioned on the Dance with or Dance for the Devil documentary on Netflix. And of course, she's going to be mixing up her Beachbody supplements, right? Hate, loathe.
lost. Anyway, one of my dancers, it is devastating to see. And it's just textbook cult. It's like cult 101. And she's in it and she just
The irony of somebody that is in a commercial cult saying it's textbook cult. Yeah, Kat, read the room. Look in the mirror. You're a part of a commercial cult, in my opinion. You are preying on other people. The only reason that you're bringing this documentary up is because you're thinking that it might actually bring you some clout and get people to actually look at Beachbody, aka body. That's embarrassing. It's also disgusting.
can't even see it. Or maybe she does. I mean, we don't know how much she's seeing or if she's the actual one posting. Like, it's just crazy. So it's very upsetting.
Yeah, you look
and I just had to separate my mind from that this morning and just be like, look.
First of all, the shaking of the cup is really annoying. If you're in an MLM and you are doing it, stop it. People aren't going to watch this on your stories. They're going to hear you shaking up the ice in the cup and go, oh, I'm out. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but that's wild.
I've got to focus on me and focus on my life. And, I haven't talked to her in years, by the way. Mel.
Oh, but now you're going to talk about her on social media, being a part of a cult while you're in a commercial cult. And like, oh, it's so sad and zero emotion. That makes sense, right?
Melanie, I keep in touch with her sister. I used to keep in touch with both of them just to working with me. But it's been a devastating process for that family. So sending them all good vibes.
Also, not really your place to talk about what the family may or may not be feeling. That would be the family's place to do that.
Right now?
That is it. Yeah, right now I'm going to get this workout in. So she's devastated. This whole process is so devastating, but she's going to, I'm going to separate myself, zero emotion, but I'm going to get this workout in. If you're interested in doing what I do, feel free to send me a DM. That's the vibe of that. It's disgusting. If you have not watched that documentary though, I do highly suggest it. I think it highlights many of the points that people within the anti-MLM movement talk about as far as tactics to recruit people into it. And then also the tactics to keep people in it and how they manipulate people using spiritual and emotional manipulation and things of that nature. I think it's really important. So if you haven't watched that, check that out. All right, next we're going to go into Trinot. And this is Tina, and this is somebody that I've spent some time with at several leadership retreats and company events and things of that nature from previous companies, previous multi-level marketing companies that I was a part of. And she looks a lot different. Now, let me just say this. Normally, I would not make comments about how somebody looks. And I know that there's a fine line. However, I feel like if you are going to promote a product and try and say that the product is what is getting you the results when everybody around you knows that you have had some sort of cosmetic or plastic surgery, that is fraudulent. And that is the case here, in my opinion. So let's watch it together, and then I'll tell you what I think about it.
Guess what time it is? Activate time. Let's make it here at the pool. You want to see the view? Bum-ba-da-dum. Hard to beat that view. So first we're going to add our activate, which is going to increase our GLP-1 hormone in our gut. It is going to activate our AMPK. When your AMPK is activated, your body burns stored fat and prevents you from storing more fat. When you have more of the GLP-1 hormone in your gut, you get fuller, faster, longer, and it cures, for me. I don't know about you.
I'm sorry, cures? Cures. You cannot say that.
For me, the snackersons that we get, this is a tripeptide marine collagen. Why am I adding this? Because I like to knock out a bunch of things at one time, and this takes care of that. It's a tripeptide marine collagen that is going to make you look and feel amazing. We're gonna add some water, super duper simple. We're gonna shake this bad boy up. Hang tight.
That was that. One trend that I am noticing, and I'm sure you guys are too, is people that are in multi-level marketing companies, and they are all trying to come up with this GLP-1 dupe, if you will. However, the big difference is the GLP-1 medications that are prescribed by doctors actually have legitimate science to back up that they do what they say they do. When you're in a multi-level marketing company, the GLP-1 dupe hype, if you will, is just a way that they're trying to market their MLM products to people that are looking for solutions, whatever those solutions may be. If it's GLP-1 medications prescribed, by their doctor or whatnot. It's, in my opinion, deceptive. I think that it's foul, and they don't have the studies or the science. When I say they, I mean multi-level marketing companies, to say that this is a natural GLP-1 medication. So if you, Tina, see this and you have any feelings about it, I would love to see the studies on Trinot's product that back up the claims. And I'm not talking about a study that they did in-house, or, they reached out to a handful of top distributors and asked them to try it and they lost some weight or this and that. No. I'm talking about actual scientific studies that are done by a third party that are not from the consultants and sharing their experience by taking the product for 30 to 60 days. That's not what I'm talking about. So if you look into these companies and the clinical studies that they claim, they're not legitimate. So if you have somebody in your inbox that's trying to sell you an all-natural GLP-1 medication from a multi-level marketing company, I would suggest that you ask for the science and the data behind it. It'll probably be some kind of graphic that they've thrown together with a bunch of fancy words, but ask for the studies. Ask for the studies on their product, not on GLP-1, because I think that they will blur those lines for sure, in my opinion. Anyways, that's what that is. Let's move on to the next one. This I have talked about, but I don't think that I've shown it. And I think that it's an important fail. When we're talking about tactics and manipulation from people in multi-level marketing, if you recall, I did a video on Sarah and Tony Zalecki and a bunch of other people talking about the manipulation here just recently. And what I think is the drastic decline of modere and their financials, I did a video on that. So you can check that out. I'll make sure that I put that video in the description as well. And Sarah Zalecki did not like it. Not one bit. This is somebody that I have spent a little time with. I was in her downline somewhere, I believe, when I was in modere in or around 2016, 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. She did not like it. So let's talk about the manipulation from this message that she sent me on Instagram. And the message says, "Hi, Erin, just saw the video on us." Well, first of all, Sarah, it wasn't just on you and Tony. It was on several other leaders. And yeah, so there's that. I'm shocked, as I've done nothing but been good to you. I would really love, Sarah, for you to explain how you've been good to me. You don't know me. We've spent a little bit of time, had kind of the lighthearted, conversation, but what exactly have you done for me? Nothing, because we don't know each other like that. We've had lighthearted conversations in passing. So that's weird. You've done nothing but been good to me. Fascinating. Now, that may work on your downline, Sarah, but it's not going to work on me. Just seemed hurtful, and we told the truth in that private team session you got a hold of. Now, Sarah, I understand that you may not like the content that I put out. I understand that it may have hurt your feelings, but I guarantee you that your downline also has hurt feelings. Why am I saying that? Because there has been several people that have reached out to me and talked about this same manipulation tactic that you're trying to use here. What are you hoping that I will do? Take the video down? Because that's not going to happen. Absolutely not. So, miss me with that manipulation. And I'm not sorry if you find the information and my opinion to be hurtful. Facts are not attacks. Maybe you should do one on Justin Prince too. I've actually done several videos on Justin Prince. I don't agree with what Justin Prince did. I had somebody send me the lawsuit. I covered the lawsuit. So Sarah, you can feel free to check those videos out if you would like to, because I've already done that, along with many other people in multi-level marketing, top leaders. So I don't know what you're trying to do here. I don't know if you're trying to make it seem like I'm targeting you. I'm not. I cover a lot of people. I cover a lot of companies. I cover a lot of the same kind of tactics coming from those different companies and those top leaders. So I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. Not at all. Not one bit. That you find it to be hurtful. But yeah, I have covered, and I really do make an attempt to cover all kinds of companies. So attempting to make it seem like I'm only targeting you, not accurate, if that's what you're doing here. I hope you and the family are doing well. Sarah, you don't know my family. So that's weird. That seems a little passive aggressive. Also, I'm not scared of you, and I'm not scared of Tony. You've never met my family. You have never talked to my husband. You barely even know me. You probably know my name, and we've spent a little time together at certain events, but that's about it. Have we even shared a meal together? No. So that's interesting. I hope you and Tony are doing well, because it sounds like you're not, allegedly. All the best to you, sunshine Sarah. Oh, Sarah. See, here's the thing. A lot of people that have received messages just like this, or similar to this, in my opinion, from Sarah and Tony, this would terrify them, because these are people that they have looked up to. And if they start to question and they start to ask, hey, why is this happening? And why is that happening? And different things like that, Sarah and Tony, in my opinion, are going to shut that down. So this is an example. And the reason that I'm showing this is because this is an example of how they try to really capitalize on the fear that their downline, allegedly, I'll say it that way, has had when dealing with them, when questioning anything that their upline is doing. And so, Sarah, I hope you enjoy being featured in this video. And just to reiterate, I'm not scared of you or Tony. So I don't think that worked how you wanted it to work, but I think it's an important lesson that we're talking about here. Okay, on to the next. Last but not least, I am really spicy today. Good Lord, that workout was incredible today. That's probably why. Anyways, this was sent to me. Shout out to the individual that sent it my way. Thank you so much for doing that. And by the way, if you guys ever want to send me any kind of content, whatever it is, you can go to my website, erinbees.com, and there is a content submission area. You can attach files. You can fill me in. If you want credit, you can let me know, all of that stuff. So erinbees.com. If there's any reason that you want to get a hold of me as far as like anti-MLM content or personal training or any of that stuff, it's all in one place. And shout out to Avery Joe for building my website for me. I appreciate you so much. Okay, this next one is Pruvit. This next one is Cheryl. I have featured her, I think, once or twice on the video on a video, and apparently Cheryl is upset that people are leaving her team. Let's read this together. Cheryl says, okay, story time, because I believe in full transparency in all areas. Really, Cheryl? All areas, huh? Okay. At the end of January 2024, I had promoters leave my team that I thought would be with me forever. Promoters, listen to what she says here, promoters who I had put my trust in, gave my energy to, who I thought were part of our team. See, when I read that, it makes me feel like you were only doing those things because you knew you would be getting something out of that. You were pouring into them, as they say. You were trusting them, right? It's almost like they think that they have this proprietary information, and Cheryl does not. So that's wild reading that. It just feels to me, you guys let me know what you think, but it feels to me like, oh, well, I was doing this because I knew I was getting to get something out of it. Come on. Now, before this goes any further, I am not a victim, nor do I play the victim card for the most part. Well, which is it? I have built this business under my own direction. Have you, though? I don't know about that. Have you been stacked at all? Have you had team members handed to you? I don't know, Cheryl. I don't know. I had no idea that prior to the start of 2024, the promoters that I mentioned were working together behind the scenes and behind our backs to encourage each other to collectively leave where we all thought they were happy. First of all, who is we all thought? Is this coming from your point of view or your upline and yourself? I'm just kind of confused who you're talking about here. And if you're a part of these promoters that she's mentioning here without mentioning, as they always do, feel free to message me. You can message me on Instagram if you want. I'm just curious. I have some questions because I definitely have heard that Cheryl is quite interesting in her team chat. Yeah, quite interesting. I'll just say it that way. And if you would like to provide any screenshots of that, feel free to message me on Instagram. That would be amazing. They would reach out to other team members saying things like, Cheryl doesn't have time for you, so you should come to me for things. Or they would go as far as to say the product they had been consuming for years all of a sudden wasn't working in order to justify the choices that they had made. Here is what I have heard and what I noticed while I was in the company. Pruvit that we're talking about here. As soon as they changed from keto max to keto nat, there was a drastic difference in the amount of products, in my opinion, that you had to consume in order to feel the way that you felt drinking keto max. Why? No idea. Let's just say it this way. If the product did what these distributors claimed it would do, you would not see them doing these drastic diet changes. You would not see them doing extreme versions of keto. You would not see them doing, what is Kelsey Ray doing? A 15-day burn. First of all, what happens on day 16? That makes no sense. You would not be seeing any of these things because if the product actually did what they say, none of them would have any body fat. None of them. But they do. Body fat is a good thing. Anyways, I could go on and on about that. If you have been a part of Pruvit and you feel comfortable sharing in the comments, feel free to let us all know your experience when it comes to that, because I know when I was a part of it in 2017 and was drinking Keto Max, I was like, oh, okay. I'm not endorsing an MLM product. I obviously know a lot more now than I did in 2017. And when you know better, you do better. Thank you, Maya Angelou. I have always had time for my promoters, my affiliates, and my customers. Heart emoji. They also chose to join someone in business who capitalized on the loss of our mentor and started this whole process 2 weeks after her passing. This is not speculation. That is fact. Are you talking about Randy Anderson? Who are you talking about, Cheryl? I would love to know. If y'all know, you can comment below or you can message me privately. I'm just kind of curious who she's talking about here. Was it somebody in her upline? Was it somebody in her downline? Interesting. That is not speculation, that is fact. Shame on her for preying on vulnerable people trying to deal with a catastrophic loss. Shame, shame, shame. Okay, Cheryl. You know, as I'm reading this, I'm thinking to myself, why are you posting this? What is the reason, if not to jab the people that you feel like have wronged you? What is the purpose of you pointing this? If you are running your Facebook to be a quote unquote business or to represent your business, what is the point in doing this? Do you think that this is going to drive people to join you? Do you think that this is going to drive people to buy Pruvit's ketones from you? Normal businesses, which we know being in an MLM is not a business, they get a 1099. She's in Canada, I believe, so it's probably a little bit different, but she's still not a business owner. That's the important part of this. Why are you posting this? This is not going to do what I feel like you wish it would do. Normal businesses would not do this. If they had an unhappy customer or former employee, they don't post about it on social media. I feel like, in my opinion, only in multi-level marketing do we see messy posts like this. And I can remember when I was in multi-level marketing, I would do stuff like this. Somebody would leave and that's a direct hit to your wallet. So you're going to be, ugly and nasty and post passive aggressive things such as this on social media. And the team knows who you're talking about. That's embarrassing, right? I used to do it. Not going to lie about it. And then the universe stepped in. Spiritual manipulation has entered the chat. Like it always does, and everything aligned. Near the end of February 2024, our team was able to obtain sponsorship and mentorship that has been instrumental in our business and personal growth. I think her and her team were moved under Megan George, if I recall correctly. And so that's what she's talking about here. And for those of you that are like, what do you mean? After Jesse Lee passed, Brian Underwood this past February told everybody, allegedly, that if you were direct to Jesse Lee, he wanted to put you under somebody else. And so those people were able to pick who they wanted to be under. Some people picked different leaders within the empire, but that organization was moved under other people. So Cheryl, it's been alleged to me, let me just say it that way, was moved under Megan George, I believe. So yeah. And Megan George, I've done some videos on her, and in my opinion, she uses PCOS and infertility as part of her brand to attract people to drink ketones. Yikes. Okay, anyways, let's finish this up real quick. They were never meant to be part of this season of growth, and divine timing ensured that they weren't. Thank you. Oh, that is so nasty, Cheryl. Cheryl, are you okay? Are you all right? Because people in a traditional job, people come and go, they leave, they get different jobs, and their former boss doesn't act like this. Now, I know I'm comparing, an MLM to a traditional job. We know they're not the same, but it's just wild to me because this would not happen in the real world. Oh, you were not meant to be a part of the season of growth. First of all, what growth, Cheryl? What growth? Do me a favor, ask Megan George to ask Brian Underwood if he's going to put out an income disclosure statement for this year, next year, because I bet he's not gonna. That's my prediction. Anyways, let's keep reading. But something I could never understand, and maybe you can help me clarify, are the levels of blaming, shaming, and justifying. This is something that people in Pruvit talk about. They call it the drama triangle. They've talked about it at some of their leadership events. I think Brian got it from a book or something. I don't even remember. But blaming, shaming, and justifying is something that they teach their quote unquote leaders. Are the levels of blaming, shaming, and justifying that happen when people choose to join a different company? Is that a question or is that a statement? Especially when they're hoping to achieve things that they never achieved in their previous company through a complete lack of effort on their part. Not you blaming and shaming, Cheryl, people that chose to leave Pruvit. I mean, it sounds like they went to another MLM company, which is unfortunate. I hope those people get out of multi-level marketing, but not you saying they're blaming, shaming, and justifying, and you're doing the exact same thing. Now that's embarrassing. Cheryl, why are you so nasty? Oh, toxic is toxic, no matter where you go. Indeed, Cheryl, but you would know a thing about that, right? In my opinion. Okay. I'm just so grateful that the universe stepped in and cleared the way for all of this incredible abundance for our team. Is the abundance in the room with us, Cheryl, or no? Okay. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes it just appears that way because it's fertilized with bullshit. Cheryl, why did you post this? Are you okay? We're still fierce. We're still fabulous. We're still building our empire and we're still promoting a product that works. Okay. And has an impressive 205 current and pending patents. You know what would be more impressive than these patents that Brian Underwood and Terry LaCour, in my opinion, are wasting their money on? The studies. Having studies done on the product so that you guys as distributors would be able to say, listen, we did this study that was not done by a LaCour owned company, because that would be a conflict of interest, right? It would be really valuable, I feel like, for the studies to be done on pruvit's ketones by somebody other than a LaCour owned company to back up the claims that you guys make about drinking ketones. Now that would be fascinating, but see, then there's the chance that it would come back and none of the claims that are made about the product are proved with actual science. It all makes sense now, right? Anyways, that's Cheryl. Cheryl's real mad that people left and have impacted her paycheck from the sounds of it. And so she took to social media to blame, shame, and justify. For those of you that have been a part of Pruvit, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. Anyways, that's today. That's today's video. That's MLM Top Fails number 13, or MLM Fails number 13. If you love today's video, and I know I'm a little extra snarky today, it's just the vibe today. Just the vibe. I'm also wearing this hoodie, so maybe that's part of it in my villain era. Anyways, if you have loved today's video, feel free to give me a thumbs up and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Guys, don't join an MLM. Don't do that. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, everybody.